video, we're going to talk about organizational stakeholders, managers, and ethics. First, let's talk about understanding the roles of inside and outside stakeholders. Organizations, they're super complex entities, and they rely on a hugely diverse group of stakeholders to function effectively. So what are stakeholders? Stakeholders are simply individuals or groups of people who have some interest in the organization's activities and outcomes. They have a vested interest or a stake in the company and whether or not that company is successful or it fails. Stakeholders are broadly categorized into two types of stakeholders. There are inside stakeholders and outside stakeholders. Inside stakeholders include those who are directly involved with the organization. Think of employees, managers, and owners. It's these inside stakeholders, these individuals who have a direct stake in the organization's success because it directly affects their livelihoods. For example, if you get fired from your job, you no longer have a paycheck. As an internal stakeholder, that's going to have a huge impact on you. It's up to managers to steer the organization toward its goals. Owners, whether they're shareholders or private owners, they have a financial interest in the organization's profitability and sustainability. Now let's talk about outside stakeholders. Outside stakeholders, those are the individuals or groups that are not directly involved with the organization, but they are still affected by the actions of the company. These include customers, suppliers, government agencies, and even the community or general public. Customers depend on the organization to provide goods and services that satisfy their needs. Suppliers rely on the organization for business, while government agencies ensure that the organization complies with laws and regulations and they pay their taxes. The general public and community are concerned with how the organization's activities impact the community and the environment. Now let's talk about how organizations satisfy stakeholder goals. It's really tough to do this because stakeholders are a diverse group and they have varying needs. But it's really important for organizations to balance these often conflicting goals of the stakeholders. Satisfying stakeholder goals requires a really strategic approach that aligns with the interests of not just the inside stakeholders, but the outside stakeholders, along with the organization's objectives. For inside stakeholders, organizations often focus on things like job security, fair compensation, equal opportunity, opportunities for career advancement. These goals are typically met through effective HR practices like training programs, management programs, performance incentives, and transparent communication. For outside stakeholders, organizations aim to provide high-quality products or services, maintain ethical standards of things like supply chain, and adhere to legal requirements. Organizations that successfully align their operations with the goals of their diverse stakeholders are more likely to achieve long-term success. This alignment often involves trade-offs, though, and lots of compromise, but it's essential for maintaining stakeholder trust and support. Next, let's talk about the responsibilities of top managers and organizational authority. Top managers, or that C-suite, they play a crucial role in guiding the organization toward its goals. They're the people who are responsible for setting that overall strategic, long-range, long-term direction, making those critical decisions, and ensuring that the organization operates efficiently and ethically. Organizational authority refers to that formal power vested in these managers to make these decisions and to do things like allocate resources and enforce policies. Top managers have to navigate complex challenges, things like balancing those demands of those various stakeholders that we just talked about, managing lots of resources effectively, and adapting to a constantly changing environment. They also, on top of that, have to ensure that the organization complies with a whole host of legal and ethical standards. This often involves delegating authority to other people, middle and lower level managers. It's these managers who oversee the operational stuff, the day-to-day operations, the hands-on stuff, and report back up to top management. Effective top managers not only possess really strong leadership skills, but they also demonstrate a deep understanding of the organization's mission and values. Now let's talk about organizational ethics and the impact that ethics have on stakeholders. Organizational ethics refers to the principles or standards that guide the behavior of individuals within an organization. These ethics impact how decisions are made, how employees interact with each other and with stakeholders, and how the organization conducts its business. Ethical organizations are committed to conducting their operations in a manner that is fair, transparent, and respectful of all stakeholders. This commitment to ethics is crucial because unethical behavior can lead to severe consequences and even legal penalties. The impact of organizational ethics on stakeholders, it's profound. I really can't overstate how important this is. Inside stakeholders, like employees, they are much more likely to be motivated and loyal when they perceive that the organization is ethical. Who wants to work for a shady company? Outside stakeholders, such as customers and suppliers, are more likely to trust and do business with an organization that upholds ethical standards. Therefore, maintaining high ethical standards is essential for maintaining positive relationships with all stakeholders. Now let's talk about how to create and maintain an ethical organization. Creating and maintaining an ethical organization requires a proactive, not reactive, a proactive approach from top management. It has to start from the top. The foundation of an ethical organization is a code of ethics, which is a formal written policy or guideline that outlines the organization's values and expectations for ethical behavior. It's this code that serves as a guideline for decision-making and behavior within an organization. It's making it crystal clear what's expected, and it's not leaving anything up to people having to guess on their own. It's not ambiguous, it's very clear. However, simply having a code of ethics, that's not good enough. Organizations must, on top of that, actively promote ethical behavior through leadership and setting good examples, training, and building a culture of accountability. Maintaining an ethical organization also involves implementing systems for monitoring and enforcing ethical behavior. In addition, organizations should engage in what's called corporate social responsibility, or you'll see this abbreviated often as CSR. CSR initiatives really demonstrate a commitment to ethical practices beyond the organization's immediate and kind of selfish interests. CSR activities are things like community engagement, environmental sustainability, charitable giving, and ethical supply chain management. These things reinforce the organization's commitment to ethical standards beyond just what's legally required, and that helps strengthen its reputation among stakeholders. By creating and maintaining an ethical organization, managers can build trust, enhance the organization's reputation, and ensure long-term success.